Hi guys, Jen here again. Just coming to you to update you on a couple other things that I found interesting. So sorry. Basically you all know that I've had this swollen lymph node for a couple days now, and I've had severe problems with it. Hold on a minute. I'm sitting in my chair instead of having this on my table. Sorry. It's just a little easier and a little faster. So, yesterday I woke up feeling a lot better, and then the swelling went down immensely. So this is good, and I can actually eat food and not have it feel like little minions are freaking ripping my throat apart. And I'd say it's about 4 days that I had it. About 4 or 5 days that I had it. So now I'm trying to figure out whether or not it was virus, whether or not it was bacterial, whether or not it was something I took, whether or not it was an emotional blockage that I needed to clear, which doctors won't usually get to because they don't believe in that when it actually really does happen. But they'll believe in stress causing stomach issues in IBS. So they're okay with that, and they know that your symptoms of IBS are drastic from the stress that you're under, but they can't see it. So they say to reduce your stress. Well, if that's the case, then why can't other things that you don't see and that you're emotionally dealing with cause other diseases and things? It's there. There's a possibility. I believe so. Anyway, so there are a couple things that I was thinking about. And then yesterday while I was out walking in the sun, it was awesome. Today, it's super rainy and dreary and like it feels like bleh. So I was very glad that I got out yesterday. But what I'm saying is, the other night I sat down and the night that I noticed yesterday that I definitely had a major change was the fact that I accepted that this new guy is giving me issues. Not personally, verbally, or whatever, but like emotionally and his energy. Now, granted, because I live here with other people, you can't exactly be like, oh, this person's giving me issues, kick them out. Life doesn't work that way, unfortunately. I wish it did, because it'd be way easier. So I've had to learn how to put up shields and things like that. So during the day, it's okay. During the night, he gets stupid because he drinks or does whatever he does. I'm assuming it's alcohol, because that's what a friend of mine said. But, I mean, the way he was slurring his words and everything, so it sounded very familiar. And it reminded me of, it gave me a trigger of what happened to me and my brothers when I was younger with my father. So that kind of freaked me out a little bit. And then I'm like, no, this is in the past. Everything's different now. And that is part of what I was trying to deal with the energy. It's all stuff I've blocked and I haven't dealt with. So I was putting it further and further into my subconscious. Not wanting to come forth with the emotions that I suppressed about it. Not wanting to feel those feelings of not being worthy, of violence, of a feeling that my life is literally in danger. But what I've known now is that I have to feel them. Because if I don't, I can't clear them. If I can't clear them, I will never be at peace. Sorry. There will always be a section of me that I'm not going to be happy with, or that I'm going to be longing to be whole, so to speak, okay? So anyway, that night I was like, okay, this is what's going on, and I need to accept it, accept that he's the one that's triggering me, accept that, yes, this is a problem. I don't have the power. I feel helpless because I can't exactly kick him out. Which is exactly when I was a kid, I felt powerless. So there's a correlation there. So I'm like, whatever, I'm just going to pray. I'm going to give him love. You know, I'm in my room. I'm safe right now. I know other people in the building will go after him if he starts doing shit for the sake of everybody in the house. He's new. He doesn't know how the rules are. He doesn't know how it plays. He's from the city of Buffalo. So the way he's learned how to live, you know, we always have to be sympathetic towards the other person because we don't know their history. So instead of just being like, oh, he's a douche and he's causing trouble and being all mad and, you know, irate, what we have to do is we have to say, hey, he learned life a different way. This is how he deals with life. This is how he was trained to deal with life. Because everything that we've known up until now, it was training, okay? So I'm like, even though it's unacceptable, extremely unacceptable, to him it is acceptable, because in order for him to survive, he had to learn those things. So, in of itself, the alcohol did not help anything last night, so I'll get to that in a minute. So anyways, after I did that, the next morning I woke up yesterday, and my throat was a lot better. A lot better. My lymph node went down a lot, and I thought it was really interesting. Another correlation was I've been taking birth control right along, okay? So this month I got effed up, and I got another one, but I didn't start it right away, and so me being me, I was doubling up. Probably not such a good idea. It's a lower dose than any of the other ones, so I thought it'd be fine, because I was on a higher dose before I got this one, and I was fine. Well, this one, for some odd reason, it's just, I don't know if it's because I've been doubling up and it's too much estrogen or testosterone or whatever is in the pills at too much of a point, and then it's got to level out, and then the next day I'll take 2 more just to level it out or whatever, and you're not supposed to be doing that and all this shit. So I was like, you know what, dumbass idea. Why are you not following the rules and the little thing that comes with it? So yeah, I didn't do that. And then when I didn't take it to try to level it back out again, it's kind of been like an up and road and whatever. So I'm thinking that also has a lot to do with it too, because if you put too much of the synthetic hormone into your body, your body cannot assimilate it properly or within enough time or whatever. So I know I shouldn't be doing this, and I know I shouldn't be playing with medicine and using myself as a guinea pig, but I decided to just kind of like lay off of it for a couple days and see where this goes. Sure enough, I'm better today. I didn't take it last night. I took my allergy pill to see if my allergy pill was causing a problem, which it wasn't either, which is awesome. And then I figured, well, maybe it was something I ate or something, or maybe it was, because I was also taking an antibiotic for 2 days, thinking it was bacterial in the beginning. And then I kept getting worse. So I'm like, well, the antibiotic's not helping. And I'm super sensitive to antibiotics. I can only stay on them for 3 days before they start causing a severe issue with me. I don't know, you're supposed to be on them for 5 days, take 2 every day, whatever. I've never been able to do that. So then I went over to my grandma's yesterday, and we were talking about all this stuff, and she was saying that my older brother, every time I'm over at the house or whatever, and I'll meet up with him or whatever, I'd always say, yeah, I'm sick, or I'd have some issue or some health issue. And yeah, it's true. And then I started thinking back on even high school when my uncle was alive, and he'd always just say, oh, why are you sick all the time? Why are you always coming home sick? And before that, like when I was in middle school, elementary school, middle school, and up until sophomore year in high school, I was fine. Perfect attendance in school. Never had a problem. Oddly enough, all my menstrual cycles ended up being on the weekend, so if I had severe cramps, I'd end up staying home. I didn't really have a problem being there, or I'd go to the nurse when I first started having them. So I had perfect attendance. And I just dealt with a lot of stuff, And then after that, it started going downhill. And I attribute it to the HPV vaccine that I got. Now, a lot of you aren't going to believe that, and a lot of you are going to be pissed off and blah, blah. And I'm not an anti-vax fully, okay? I do believe in some vaccinations. I just don't believe how they're being frickin' done today. They're too close together, so bodies have a hard time assimilating them and building the antibodies up. And there's a reason behind that, and it's a pocketbook reason, but I'm not going to go into that or anything. So anyway, so I'm saying that the reason why that happened, and then later on I got sulfa allergy on top of that, which I didn't know I had. I'm saying my immune system had been compromised from the get-go. So that's probably why I have all these issues. So anyways, I decided that I wasn't going to do that, and I was going to talk to Mom about it, and sure enough, there's like a pattern. And everything that has to do with stress, I end up getting issues with. So what I was trying to do while doing this whole entire thing was get out of that stress. But me trying to run away from the situation did not make matters better. It actually made matters worse. It made matters better the immediate month after. Lasted for about maybe 3 months. Because I had money in the bank where I could, and I was still working my part-time job at the time. and I had money I could live off of, so it was good for a while. And then I started realizing it was dwindling down, and, I had the freedom. I could do whatever I want to, whatever, but there was also other stuff that was going on with the situation I was in, with the person I was with the situation with my family, with, other stuff coming to light. And I owned my responsibility later on after that. But I'm just saying, I guess I didn't truly grow up. Okay? Now, I know we all need to grow up and we all need to do this stuff. But it's just, sometimes the grass is not always greener on the other side. And sometimes we need to learn to separate ourselves from the situation that's going on and see a different perspective. See the perspective of the person in front of us instead of getting all angry that we're getting hurt. A lot of other things like that we have to learn about. I'm right now in the middle of a Hay House Summit with Louise Hay and learning all about positivity, drive, learning how to bring back your power. All the stuff we don't normally see and the stuff that we're not taught. There was, actually, if you find it, today is the second day, so you're not going to find the first day. But, there was one out there about this girl, 2 women, 2 doctors, Northrup. Forgot her first name. Northrup and a girl, Kelly something or other. They were all talking about women's health, and they did mention stuff about birth control and how birth control is extremely bad for you. Mammograms, and how mammograms are played up in the exact opposite of what they're actually supposed to be doing, is helping us. And they said it actually, hearing it from a doctor's perspective is really interesting, and it's in the fact that, like, it was really weird, because this other woman was holistic in the beginning, and then she went into more science, so she, like, kind of went the other way, but she didn't go, like, pseudoscience. The other lady was smack dab science all the way, and ended up inadvertently turning more holistic when she found out these surprising statistics that she herself was ashamed that she was doing stuff with. So, basically, they were saying mammograms actually smush your breast to the point where it actually, if you have a small lump in there or something that you don't even know you have, it's going to make it go into the smushed tissues and spread. That's how it spreads. The other girl, Kelly, said that she was so into research, and then she had this lady who was a holistic practitioner ask her about something and say, well, there are alternatives to just everyday medicine. She got so pissed off because of her training, and no, there's not, you're gonna kill somebody, la 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 la. Gung-ho into the science field, believe me. Gung-ho from the get-go. It's really funny listening to her, it was funny. And she's all like, she says now, and she's very humble about it, and she's very transparent, and that's what I like about it, because when you're transparent, you can relate. So her mom had a lump in her system, and she told her mom to get a breastectomy, whatever. And her mom did, and then afterward they found, because she was trying to prove the other lady wrong, the holistic lady, so she went and did research about what this lady was saying and saying, oh, that's pseudoscience, that's fake, that's all like a placebo effect, that's not based on science, there's no, reports or documents in any of the scientific journals or any of this stuff. She's like, I'm just going to prove it to you, I'm going to find nothing, I'm going to give all these papers that prove exactly the opposite of what you're doing. Sure enough, she went on there and she found all these things proving that lady right to her, distress. And she had to sit there with herself, she said, for a while and just be like, holy shit. Whatever I was saying was wrong. These doctors and the training that we weren't, because she was a gynecologist and she was prescribing medicine for the women that she were in her practice for menstrual periods and for, all this other stuff. So she's all like, when I started thinking about that and I started researching after that, finding out that there is another way, she started researching the medicines that she was prescribing people, and she was like, holy fuck. She goes, these are not good. There's so many complications with these things that they didn't tell us, they didn't want us to know. So she had to do her own research away from the thing, and then she's like, it was, the amount of research that's out there that they're trying to block, she said, was insurmountable. She goes, this is why they don't want it, because there's so much damning evidence against it, and if everybody knew this damning evidence, they wouldn't do it. And so then the companies would go bankrupt because nobody would want to do it because they knew it was damaging their health instead of, helping it. So she said from then on, she went about her business a lot more in a different light. Now, of course, when she didn't bring in any of the holistic means, because of course then she wouldn't have a job. So she kind of, when she did, she was a little bit lenient on prescribing things then, and she told her patients to do their own research. And sure enough, they did. And then she, of course, didn't get paid as much as she was originally because she didn't get the kickback from prescribing the medicines and things. So eventually she ended up not getting enough money, or for her likelihood or whatever, and then she went into a more homeopathic trend and stuff. So that's why she teamed up with this other lady. But it's a very interesting article, and I wish it was on for a lot, because I think a lot of women need to hear that, and a lot of people need to hear what, that is. And unfortunately, because it's not mainstream and it's against mainstream, that's why Hay House has to be careful with it, because excuse me, who knows what will happen if the truth gets out. And she was saying too that people were freaking yelling at her and causing her, you're gonna kill people because you're being ignorant of your science and da 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 da. So anyways, so basically what I'm saying is I'm learning all this stuff on this show, different parts. There's like every 2 days. It goes on for 2 days for each section. There's like 8 sections, and you get 48 hours to watch all 7 sections of it if you want to, and you get to pick and choose which ones you want to watch. Usually it's an hour to 45 minutes long, or a half an hour, these sessions. So it's very interesting. I love learning. I'm a green personality, so that's what I do all the time. Anyway, back to this. So I'm trying to figure out, one, I have to be truthful with my stuff, and I have to figure out, okay, I have to speak my truth no matter what. So for a while when I was in corporate America and in my job, I kept my mouth shut. Because when I spoke my truth, in corporate world, you can't do that, because then it caused a whole bunch of problems. So then I was building up energy blocks in my throat chakra. And then if you don't view that, or you don't see that, the throat chakra energy, any of that, basically it's going to cause you to get sick in your throat. When there's blockages, you get sick. When there's blockages in any of your core chakras, you get sick around that. So if you have a blockage in your sacral center, I forgot what sacral chakra, it's where your belly button is and stuff. That's where you're going to get sick in your stomach. Okay, if you have a blockage in your heart chakra, it's going to be up in here, same thing with your root chakra. It's family. If you get problems with your family or whatever, that's the one that's right in your genitals and on the base of your spine. So you're going to have issues maybe in the bedroom, or, other things like that. There's a lot of science behind it. The ancients, sacred knowledge, you can research it if you really want to get into it. I do it on occasion. It's very interesting. Anyways, this video is going on too long, but I just want to come on here and say there's a lot of stuff, if you sit down and you have peace of mind to think it through, and to be like, you know what, this might be an interesting path to go down and just dabble in for a little bit. Like, hey, let's see if this energy source information is real, if it resonates with me. If it doesn't, then just like, okay, no, I don't believe it. But don't be closed-minded to everything. The more you're closed-minded, the more you're going to end up getting bumps and blockages in your life. The reason why we're here is so that we can become open-minded, so we can see other paths and other opinions and be like, oh, I didn't see it that way. I just had one of those happen to me the other day. On the news, my friend and I were watching the news, and there was this situation with this kid who had cancer, and the parents were taking him to an alternate thing after he became in remission. My friend was dominant one way. No, they should be, held accountable if that kid dies, blah, blah, blah. And then I was on the other end. I was like, no, maybe the reason why, he did it, he's in remission, they're taking him to a holistic doctor because maybe it's hurting the kid. But he didn't want to listen to what I said, and then he got all weird. So that's what I'm saying. If I'm open to the opinion that, yes, if that helps the kid and the kid's not in pain, yes, go for it if you feel like it. But if the kid's in pain, then I feel like there should be other options. You shouldn't just have to do chemotherapy every time. Like, if I ended up getting sick, I didn't want to do chemotherapy. Fuck that. But because of the kid, adults have say and stuff like that. Anyways, my point being, be open-minded. So, anyway, I'm going to get off because this video is going 20 minutes, and they tend to be a lot longer now lately since I'm here. So, new developments on the horizon. I will be moving back to Mom's by the end of this month. I'm going to need help moving for sure. So I'm going to have to call my dad, call my brother, and see when he's available. Get my stuff slowly out of here and over there as much as I can within the time I can. Hopefully with the hopefully the weather will hold up. But I gotta go pack and do all that stuff. I gotta make some hard decisions about some of my furniture. I'm gonna have to leave it behind. Wondering about my nice bed. But there's no room in the other place for what's going on now, and there's no room for the nice TV cabinet thing, which is sad. But hey, they're material objects, and they'll eventually fade away when we leave, right? So, somebody here is gonna get a nice cabinet, unfortunately, and it's just I feel bad for the cabinet because it's with the people that come and go in here. It's just they're shitheads, and unless they can straighten up, they're gonna abuse it. I feel sorry for it. Anyway, hopefully I'll send the angels and pray over it and, you know, give it love and stuff, and hopefully it'll work out. If not, then, like I said, it's just an object. Alright, I'm gonna get going. Love, light, and blessings, everybody. Namaste. Have a good day. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hitting the subscribe button. I know a lot of this stuff helps. A lot of you like more of the daily updates for me, so I'm trying to go in and do everything how I'm led by Spirit. So yeah, stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of new developments coming on. When I was over at Mom's house yesterday, I definitely noticed energy difference. Different energy flow. So that'll be one of my next videos about when I'm over there. I had more drive to do something, and when we notice things like that, it's definitely an energy change. It's not necessarily anything you can see physically that's causing you to drain your energy and feel nopey and blah, but it's definitely the energy of the building or the place, or there might be an energy vortex or something you cannot see. There are things out there that we cannot see. You know, like, for example, if you're driving on a car and you don't have your headlights and a squirrel or a deer or whatever runs in front of the street, you can't see them until you hit them, until it physically impacts your physical world. They're still there, and if it had crossed the road before you got there with your car, you wouldn't have known it was there, but it was still there. It crossed the road. You just didn't see it. So when you don't see something, it doesn't mean it's not there. So that's what I'm trying to get across to everybody. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. I mean, your intuition. How do you know what's right for your child after you've birthed the child and you know what's right for them? How can you say you know that when there's no physical proof? You just know. Something you can't see, something you can't define. It's there. It's energy. It's part of who we are. We got to get back to that. We got to start learning how to read our own energy and figure out what's right for us and what's not right for us, and we'll get back to our health. We'll get back to our happiness. Stop letting corporate America lead us into a freaking pit. Anyway, I know my rants. Frog in my throat. Blah, blah, blah. I gotta go find some breakfast, make some eggs. That fiasco last night with him being not cool and threatening all of us was not cool at all. So I'm definitely getting out of here, because that was bullshit. Yeah, even though he was drunk, there was no excuse for that. And that's totally uncalled for. And I know my landlords are going to talk to him, but it's not going to stop, because I can't actually prevent him from bringing in alcohol and being a douche. He's got a lot of issues he's got to deal with, so I'm sending him love. So yeah, that was another thing that I didn't get to in the video, but yeah. That was an interesting, scary night last night, but hey. Hence why I have to make choices, hence why I have to leave, because the person in here running this place is not going to end up standing up for anybody of the rest of us in here because he doesn't care. Or if he does, it's only because it was pushed upon by somebody else who brought it to their attention because they don't want to know. They think it's all dandy, handy, whatever in here. And maybe me being here helped them out a little bit, know that there's a lot more going on here than meets the eye, but I doubt it. Because it'll just keep going on, and just like my other work at Dollar Tree, it's just going to keep getting worse. So what we have to do is we have to remove ourselves from these situations. and we have to start afresh and start anew. And that's what I'm doing. It's hard, and it's not fun, but we have to listen to our truth, and we have to survive, and this is how I'm going to survive, because I am not surviving in a situation that it's dangerous to my own health. So, yeah. I'm standing for myself first, no matter what happens. Love, light, and blessings, guys. Stand up for yourself. Do something if you know something